we have finally made it to June, where summer really takes off and the gardens are getting big. And one of those plants in your garden that's really going to start to shine this month and through the summer are hydrangeas. So let's go over the different types of hydrangeas we carry here at Tonkadale. Let's start with my very favorite, the tried and true panicle type hydrangea. Now this hydrangea is going to be perfect for your full sun locations or part sun, meaning 4 to 6 hours of sun at least. They come in all different sizes, which is really great for the landscape when it comes to choosing something that fits your space. My very favorite, the early evolution hydrangea, is the smallest that we carry at only 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. Then we have the limelight, which everybody loves, and this one's going to get upwards of 8 feet tall and wide. You're going to have more lace cap foliage with the early evolution and more panicle cone-shaped flowers with the limelight. Some other really great panicle hydrangea varieties, starting from smallest to biggest, would be the Bobo. That one only gets about 3 feet by 3 feet and is a really pretty white in the summer and a tint of pink in the fall. Then we have Little Quickfire, which is going to be 3 to 5 feet tall and wide and have that more lace cappy foliage and get a really rich pink in the fall. And then Quickfire, which is going to be 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. Same color in the fall, really rich, beautiful pink, lace cappy foliage. Then we have Little Lime, which is going to be in that 3 to 5 foot tall and wide range. That one's going to be more of that cone-shaped flower, a real limey green to start, and then a creamy white in the summer that fades to like a vintagey pink in the fall. And then we have Limelight Prime, which is going to be just a smidge between that Little Lime and Limelight at 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. And then we've got the big limelights, which are going to be upwards of 8 feet tall and wide. If you purchase a panicle hydrangea, you're going to want to consider pruning it in the early spring. March, April, they put on blooms on new growth only. By trimming it in early spring, you're setting it up for success by cleaning out some of the damaged branches inside, creating airflow, and managing that size. Next up, we have the Hydrangea quercifolia. This type of hydrangea is a little newer for us. It's a zone 5, so you do want to keep that in mind when you choose this hydrangea. Make sure you have a more protected location or you're prepared to do a little extra winter protection for it. This one is actually called the Little Annie Oak Leaf. I feel like I need this one in my life. It's going to get 4 by 4, so not too big. They stay in that mid-size range for hydrangeas, but it will turn a really pretty pink in the fall, and the leaves will turn a real rich color as well, kind of an orangey red. The nice thing about oak leaf hydrangeas is they actually tolerate shade pretty well. If you have an area that gets just morning sun, this would be really good for that space. So this quercifolia actually blooms on old and new wood. My general recommendation for hydrangeas that bloom on both is leave it alone. If you do need to come in and prune it, go ahead and do so if you're managing size, but you may sacrifice some blooming if you do that. The cool thing about oak leaves is they are really unique and super wild looking and very romantic. Next up, we have the trusty arborescens hydrangea. This variety is another great one. If you've got a little more shade than sun, they will tolerate part shade. So again, that morning sun. These two varieties, we've got Bar Harbor and Incredible. The Incredible is a really great arborescens variety. It is an improved upon version of the Annabelle Classic. It's just going to be a little bit sturdier and perform really nicely in your space. They get about 4 to 5 feet tall and wide and are just that really classic white. So if you want a hydrangea that doesn't change colors or turn pink in the fall, arborescens is kind of your way to go. Arborescens hydrangeas or big leaf hydrangeas are going to fall in that same pruning category as panicles. You're going to prune these in late March or early April, and they will bloom on new wood. These though, you want to prune back actually about to 6 inches off the ground. That'll create sturdier stems for those big heavy blooms. Lastly, we have the Macrophylla hydrangeas. These are going to be the ones that come in those really pretty pastel blues, pinks, and purples. They're great for shadier locations, but they can tolerate some sun. Do steer away from the hot afternoon sun as they will wilt fast and those blooms will get all brown and crispy. This variety is the Bloomstruck, a very popular macrophylla here, and this one's going to get 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, which is pretty typical for a macrophylla. They tend to stay on the smaller side and are really great for big wow factor in the front yard. One thing that's going to be really important to know with these macrophyllas is if you buy one with this pretty blue color, you're going to want to figure out the acidity of your soil at home. Maybe do a soil test. I will say in this area of Minnesota, we have very alkaline soil, and with alkaline soil, these blooms will turn pink, which is no less beautiful, just maybe not what you'd expect. Do need to add acidifier to your soil to keep this bloom rockin' blue. So this is a great example of a macrophylla. It was treated with acidity to get that nice icy blue color. Now, This is the very same hydrangea variety, but it's starting to turn a little bit more pink. It's losing some of that acidity. So you really do have to kind of add that acidity over time throughout the summer, maybe once or twice, depending on how much acidity your soil has to start, to keep that blue color. This is my favorite macrophylla that we carry, the Pebble Beach. I think it has a really pretty pink to blue blushiness to it. When it comes to pruning these, it's another one of those hands-off. They bloom on old and new wood. You really don't need to touch them if you want to keep these beautiful blooms. And one last tip for success with the macrophylla hydrangeas is do give them a little extra winter protection if you can. Cage them, throw some leaf mulch in there, plant them in a protected area, because they are a little more sensitive to winter temperatures since they bloom on old and new wood. You want to protect those buds that are trying to make it through the winter to give you those beautiful spring blooms. So let's do a little deep dive into the soil acidifier product. So this is going to be something you're going to want to put in the ground when you plant your hydrangea and every season after. They want you to use it in 60-day intervals, so maybe once in the spring and once in the summer. And then once you've got the desired color of your hydrangea, you're good to go. You're going to want to put about a cup in the hole when you plant your hydrangea, and then if it's an established plant, 2 cups scattered around the drip line of the plant every 60 days. This is going to be your best friend for your new plant and establishing good roots. This is the Espoma Biotone Starter Fertilizer, and it's going to contain a beneficial fungi called mycorrhizae that's going to create a relationship with those roots. You're going to want to use this anytime you plant a new perennial, not just hydrangeas, and put it in the hole with the plant. So when planting any new perennial, tree or shrub, you're going to want to dig a hole twice as wide and just as deep as the root ball. And then you're going to backfill once you place your new plant in the hole with biotone, and then 50% compost, 50% of that native soil that you took out of the hole. Before you do your planting and after you dig the hole, you're going to want to stick your hose in the hole and let it fill up with water and time how fast the water drains out. If it drains out quickly, you likely have sandy soil. If it drains out within 30 minutes to an hour, you probably have good loamy soil. If it takes more than that, you may have clay soil, and it might be time to do some amending with compost or gypsum. So you planted your hydrangeas last year, they came back, they're looking great, woohoo! So now you need to start thinking about getting those big blooms, and flower tone is what we would recommend. You want to sprinkle it around the drip line of the plant in early spring and then again in early summer, and then you can watch those big beautiful blooms take shape. These 3 products right here are going to extend the life of your hydrangeas, their blooms, and your happiness in the garden. These are an automatic add to cart for me every year. For more information, go check out our hydrangea pruning blog on our website, or grab the Hydrangea 101 care card in our perennial libraries outside of Tonkdale. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at Tonkdale.